Hey all, Pixel here, Improbable Garage, and we need to talk about the 56 olds. In particular, what I've screwed up. For those who haven't really seen this car on the channel, you'll understand why in a minute. I bought this end of 2020 or end of 2021, I want to say 2020. Well, bought it a few years ago. This was kind of my I survived COVID bullshit car. I wanted to have a project car, and this is what I chose. She's a 1956 Oldsmobile Super 88. Super means it's got the 4-barrel carb and more trim and a fancier interior. It's a 4-door hardtop. As you can see, when the windows are down, there's no pillar between the doors. The plan with this car had been I wanted to build myself a 50s style custom. My plan with this vehicle had been a late 50s style custom. I wanted something like that looked like either a kid had gotten this as a hand-me-down from their parents and decided to customize it, or somebody had bought this car used a few years after it came out and customized it. I wasn't going to be obsessive about being period accurate, but that was the general theme. I wanted mild customization. I didn't want to do a wild, crazy custom, and I didn't want to restore the car. I wanted just a little bit of custom touches here and there. And in particular, the thing I wanted to do that I'd never done before is I wanted to do a car from end to end. As you've probably seen on my other videos, I have a tendency to sort of ADD projects. Working a little bit of it here, a little bit of it there, a little bit of this, like you've seen on the van. Like, gut out the interior, completely redo the interior, and then put fender flares on it, and then this, and then that. Like, I kind of jump around and whatnot. And I decided, you know what? I've never done a car from end to end. Let's do a car from end to end. And that's what I screwed up. Because you know what? I can't. I really can't put it any other way. This project has proved to me I don't have the mentality to do that. I don't have the mentality to be like, I'm going to take this car, I'm going to blow it all apart, I'm going to do everything, I'm going to put it back together, I'm going to have a done car at the end. As soon as something gets boring and uninteresting or difficult in a way that's not fun, my ADD brain goes seeking those brain chemicals and goes and finds a new project. And it's really hard to get back to old ones that I know aren't fun. In the case of this, I spent good money to buy a almost completely rust-free New England car, and then discovered a bunch of rust in it. I don't blame the guy I bought it from, because he wasn't the guy. He basically bought it, driven it for a while, and then sold it. Whoever he bought it from hid a bunch of rust. The whole car, you can still see there's some residue at the top, was covered in Plastidip that had gone really bad. It had dried out, had been sun damaged. It was a whole hassle to get it off. And under that was a bunch of hidden rust. The bottoms of both front fenders were rotted out. The rockers are rotted out. The doors had rust in them. And the biggest and most scary one was this whole area is rotted on both sides. This is the side I fixed. I haven't fixed the other side. We'll get to that. And so the plan had been, I'm going to buy this car. I'm going to fix the minor rust that it had, because I knew it had. There's a couple of rust bubbles in one rocker, and I think one of the doors had some rust that was visible when I bought it. It's like, I'll fix that little bit of rust, and then I get to do the fun thing. I get to customize it. I get to do all that interesting stuff. And then I found all this rust, and then it turned into, oh God, I have to do all this rust repair. And I didn't want to do rust repair. So that made the whole thing sort of slow to a crawl, just because it's like, oh great, I'm doing rust repair I don't want to do. So that's the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened is I want to do all of it, so I'll tear it all apart. And as so many car guys can tell you, so many people are really good at taking cars apart and they're really bad at putting them back together again. Turns out I'm one of them. So I went and stripped all the paint off of most of the panels on the car. Quarters, doors, the hood, the trunk lid, the other quarter. I think both doors and the fender on that side haven't been touched yet. And I also tore the interior apart to start redoing it. You can see the front seat's in place, but the rear seat is not. The rear seat, the bottom of it we've recovered, but we haven't done the back. We haven't done the front seat. We haven't done the door panels. The radio's out of it because I was going to trade it to somebody plus some money for the block-off panel, and then they stopped answering my emails. I took the doors apart so that I could do the rust repair and strip them all down. I had to take the back window out to do this quarter. I sold off the rear bumper because I'm planning to put 56 Pontiac rear bumper on it. And now what I have is a car in pieces. It's like, you can see, bits of it are missing everywhere. Some of it's up there, some of it's behind the garage. I think some of it's in the basement. So now I have a car that I have about less than 3 hours of driving time in. It took me 2 hours to drive it home because I took it back roads way. And then after I did some suspension repairs, shortly after I bought it, because I bought it right before the weather turned cold for the winter. So I did stuff over the winter, and then that next spring, I took it out, took it literally for like 1 or 2 drives around the neighborhood to see how that work had done, pulled it in here and started tearing it apart. Hardcore. So I've barely driven this thing. I've barely used it, put a bunch of time into it, and then I lost interest in it and it's been sitting. And I can't pull it out of here and park it off to the side and do something else because half of it's in bare metal and it's missing half its glass. I can't drive it for the exact same reason. At this point, I don't even know if it'll start because it hasn't been started in a year or two. It probably is going to need some like carb cleaning or something at the very least. Probably the points sanded or replaced or something. The interior is no back seat, so I'd either have to put the half and half back seat into it or just drive around with no back seat in it. My partner will not ride in it until it has seat belts in it, which is totally fine and justified. But if you have watched the past videos on it, I have custom 3-point seat belts for it that are a whole fabrication project. So I can put lap belts in it right now, but I couldn't put the proper 3 points in without doing all that work. And at this point, I've lost the fun. I've lost interest in it. It's not fun. It's not interesting. Like, all I can see when I look at it right now is I have to crawl under that wheel well again, get up in there, finish the patches up under there to seal off the inside of the wheel well so that I can start in on putting epoxy primer and truck bed liner under there to make the wheel well watertight. And that'll finish all the rust repair on this side, and then I get to do the exact same rust repair on the other side. And when I do that, then I have body work to do. I have to get all this stuff looking nice. All the rust repair I did has to then get fixed. I mean, this you can see is kind of rough because I'm not amazing at body work. So that's all going to get body worked. I had to take the lead out of the seam. The rocker and stuff has been body worked, but neither of the doors have been. See how buried it is. And this part of this door is going to need a ton of work because that was a whole big patch. And then once I've done all that body work, then I have to paint it. Then I have to reassemble it. I have to put all the weather stripping in that I've bought. I'm going to have to buy more weather stripping. That's several $100s more. Unless I need more weather stripping. I literally don't have the piece that goes around the door that keeps the doors from rattling and making noise and letting all the air in. And then after I've done all of that, I need to get the rear bumper fabricated. We're skipping over so much. The front hood, this is a video I was going to make, but I haven't gotten around to it. This front hood is all rotted like they all do. They all do this because the way the hood is designed, crap drops up into it and gets trapped. I have an entire other hood nose over there off a hood that was all bent to hell that isn't rotted out, that the plan was to make a jig to locate all the points on the hood so that I could slice this hood off, slice that one off, and weld it on. And then I was going to remove the hood ornament, this thing. So yeah, I've got all that to do. And at the very least, I've got to do some of that. I've got to do all the rust repair on the other side and prime the damn thing before I could even take it for a spin. I also like kind of don't want to put the glass back in until I've done the painting because that's not the right way to go about it. I'm spiraling. You get the idea. This thing needs so much done to it to get it to drivable, and then it needs so much more done to it to be looking the way I wanted it to, because this is going to have a 3-tone paint job. This is going to be the Grove green on the bottom and the back. It was going to be the mint green over here, and then it was going to be a deep green candy on the roof. It's going to have a full custom interior in green and white vinyl. Like I said, with custom seat belts. I had plans for how to 3D print that radio block off since I can't buy one. I was going to shave the door handles. I was going to shave the gas filler door. All kinds of stuff. And then if I did all that work, paint, interior, figure out something to deal with the chrome, because all the chrome, most of the chrome's okay, the front bumper is shot and it's bent. I have another bumper, but it's rusty. So get all that done, and this thing, let's say I do it all. Let's say I blast it all out. This thing looks beautiful and amazing, exactly like it looked in my vision. Then what? I'm not a own a pretty car person. I'm not a I finished it, now I'll take it to car shows person. I mean, I wouldn't just take it to car shows. I would drive the fucking snot out of this thing. This would become not my daily, but you know, go into the rotation with the other two. And that's cool. I'd be paranoid to drive it though. Oh my God, what if somebody crashes into it? Oh my God, what if somebody opens a door into it at the grocery store? What if it breaks down some, you know, just now I have this beautiful and amazing and perfect car. What happens to it? I am not a beautiful and amazing perfect person. My life is not a beautiful and perfect and amazing life. And the last thing I want to be is a 40-something-year-old guy sitting at the car show in a lawn chair next to my old car. Not who I am. So I don't know what to do. Oh, the other thing with that, get my beautiful, perfect, and amazing car. And then it sits in this garage where I do wood projects. This is, I'm still working on the bathroom. I do metalworking projects. I do whatever, you know, I build weird shit. And what's going to happen to it? This. It's going to be covered. This is sawdust. This is metal dust. This is slate dust from the kitchen from the beginning of the year. It's had stuff spilled on it. This is thread from the door panels for the cube. This is a random door spear that I got off a front end from a 59 Chevy. That's the grill I might put in this. This is just here because I don't know what to do with it. These are the lights for the front of the garage for a project that you haven't even seen because it got stalled out by the bathroom project. This is a piece of cardboard I was using to practice graffiti painting that I might put on the cube. Would that stuff get as piled up if the car was drivable? No. But like, so yeah, like, and this is bad. Like, you know, the car shouldn't be getting dirty. But right now it doesn't really, it's okay. It's like, whatever, I'll clean it. Doesn't matter. If this thing had a really nice paint job, I have 2 gallons of paint over there. The Grove Green and the mint. Not enough to do the car. 2 gallons is not enough to do the car. Maybe it's enough to do it. It's iffy. That's $500 worth of paint. Plus all the, like, I'm assuming it goes perfectly. Assuming I get it all done. One try. Looks perfect, looks amazing. Or looks good enough, I buff it out. It looks nice, it looks presentable. And then I'm in here with a grinder. And I'm not thinking about it. Grind against the side of the, you know, grinding sparks against the side of the car. Metal embedded in the paint. Oh, I would be so angry at myself. But it's exactly the kind of thing I would do because I wouldn't think about it. So now, I've got my perfect car. I've got my amazing, my beautiful, perfect car. And I've just grinder sparked into the side of it and ruined the paint. I would be devastated. And I'd hate myself for having done it. So this is where I am. I don't know what to do with this 1956 Oldsmobile. She's beautiful. She's lovely. The idea I had for her is amazing. But do I want that anymore? Is that a reality I'm likely to actually accomplish? So I was going to make this video about a month ago. I came to this realization and I was like, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to make a video about this, and I'm going to talk about like possible things to do and possible solutions. And then my bathroom blew up. We found the water leak and tore the wall open in the bathroom on the 1st of November. Today is the 25th, I want to say, maybe 24th. I think it's the 25th. I've done nothing in that time except work on a goddamn bathroom and be sick as a dog, possibly from mold, possibly from dust, possibly from something else, but I've just had a sinus and chest thing for a month. Literally the only car work I've done in that entire time was trying to fix the misfire on the cord, which still isn't fixed. Whole nother thing. But I was going to make a video about this, and it got put off by all of that. So when I was going to make that video beginning of the month, there were basically 3 thoughts I was having with this. 1, keep it, work on it, but change my plan. Like, don't worry about a perfect paint job. Don't worry about perfect bodywork. Get the rust fixed so that there's not rot holes in it. But even that, like, don't worry about getting it all done. Like, put the whole thing in epoxy primer. Maybe put a rattle can, interesting paint job over it. Maybe not, maybe just drive it around in white. Because I have white epoxy primer, the car would just look white. Do the bodywork as I get to it in bits and pieces. Like, do a door, finish that door, whatever. But get the interior back into it, get the lights back into it, get the engine wiring hooked back up that I had to take apart to take this whole thing off. And do it in pieces. And just like the van, just like the Cube, individual projects. Tear a door apart, do it. Tear the quarter apart, do it. Whatever. But get to drive it and enjoy it. And then with that, accept that the car is not going to be perfect for a long time, possibly ever, and maybe never finish it. That's one, is keep the car, but change the perspective of how I'm working on it. Instead of trying to get it all done at once and then enjoy it, make it a car, enjoy it, work on it. Number 2, sell it off, whatever I can get for it. Either just like it is now, throw the tire on it, throw everything in boxes in the back, offload it for whatever I can get for it, or do a little bit of work to it, clean off all the panels that have gotten surface rust on it because they're exposed metal, epoxy prime it, do some basic reassembly, put the glass in it and stuff, make it weather tight, and then sell it for whatever I can get for it, get something. And that was plan 2, get something else. Number 3 was get something else and use this as a parts car for it. This was the interesting one, because I realized I'm a ratty, messy, build weird shit, do whatever the fuck I want, don't care that it looks perfect kind of person. So what if somebody was selling all the sheet metal, cab, doors, fenders, hood, bed, etc., for a 53 Studebaker pickup truck? Just the sheet metal. Nothing else. No glass, no interior, no engine, no drivetrain, no frame, nothing. I was like, what if I picked up another... And there's tons of people selling various frames. It's like, what if I picked up a frame somewhere? Even a modern one. Like, what if I got a Ranger frame? If I picked up all that sheet metal. But I could bang together a pickup truck relatively quickly. Not fast. Relatively quickly, though. And like hack it to... Not hack it as like as in dangerous, but like doesn't have to look perfect. Doesn't have to be spot on. Just has to be solid and safe. And what if it had a 324 Olds V8 in it? What if I built a custom bed with Olds taillights on it? Hell, if I get a slightly different car, what if I put, the Olds 56 Olds headlight buckets with their little teardrop tops on it, which is a classic touch for custom cars, was to take these fenders and use them. What if I did something like that? Hell, I could even put the fucking dash from the Olds in it. Just narrow it if I have to, but put this really neat, cool custom dashboard in it. That'd be a hell of a project, wouldn't it? So that was the video I was going to make, and then my bathroom blew up. I'm almost $5,000 into that bathroom. I'm doing the work. That's just supplies. You know how much a project like that would cost? Less than $5,000. Yeah. So all that stuff. Sell this, buy another car. Use this as a parts car to build a 53 Studebaker or whatever. Not viable right now. And the YouTube channel makes me nothing. I don't even qualify to get ad revenue yet. So that's not. So that's where I am. I don't know what to do. Do I just leave this and see if I get interested in it again for that original vision? Do I change to that lesser vision? Lesser is not the right word, but you get the idea of get it running, get it driving, drive it, work on it in bits and pieces, and hope that the fact that I can drive it maintains and feeds that enthusiasm for it. Do I just offload it? Do I just sell it to somebody as is, or, just assembled enough to get some money for it and see what I get for it, and maybe think about, does that allow me to get something else? What do I do? I don't know. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think. Because I don't know what to do right now. I genuinely don't. There's a crossroads here, and I don't know which way to go. But I do know that this doesn't feel sustainable. It's blocking half the garage. It's going to be hell. I can't work on anything this winter. It's in the way. It's really tight in here. Like, I can get the cube in here. I can work on the cube. Can't really work on the van, especially the big thing I want to work on the van. That's the sheet metal to take the windows out of the side of the van. That'd be a cool project. Can't do it with this in here. Not enough room. But I can't park this outside because it's got no glass and half in bare metal. If I park this outside right now, ruin it. I mean, just the condensation would ruin it. Week or two. Throw a car cover on it, be worse. So let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm not going to this is not a you're going to decide for me, but I'm interested in your thoughts because I'm not quite sure what to do. Yeah. Drivetrain wise, this thing is fine. Just so that's established. Engine works. Transmission needs a front seal replaced because it leaks real bad, but it works fine. Brakes are all good. Suspension, all that stuff. As a rolling as a driving vehicle, all that mechanical stuff is all fine. It's just what you can see here. The interior is destroyed. The body's half fixed, but needs the final body work. The other half needs all the metal work done. Anyway, that's it for now. Hopefully, I'll be done this effing bathroom enough that there'll be a video for next week. But if you don't see a video next week, that's why. I'm still working on the bathroom. I've burned through my backlog of videos that I had, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to work on something else again because I have to get we've got the tub in but not finished. We've got all the walls, and we ended up moving one of the walls back 7 inches to make more room in the bathroom. Brand new plumbing from the basement all the way up, a fresh end sewer. At this point, we've got the tub in, we've got the floor in, we've got the sheetrock on the walls, but none of it's been sanded. So we're getting there. Dear God, it feels like a game of inches. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week. If not, I'll see you as soon as I can. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll talk to you later.